So, J. Ruud, what lovable book are we talking about today?
Well, Stacey Margaret Jones, I'll give you a hint. The Last Tory and an Anglican Saint.
No.
I don't know.
Welcome to Between the Covers, the weekly podcast in which author J. Ruud makes the case for one book on his list of the 100 most lovable novels in the English language. And I, author Stacey Margaret Jones, interrogate him about his choices. And we just want to make a note on the sound today. I'm not sure if you can hear. We have a fan going because we are at the height of La Canicule, the heat wave in France, the historic heat wave in France. And we do
Record-setting heat wave.
Record-setting heat wave. We do not have AC in the old stone house in which our gîte is, so we can't do the podcast without a fan. It cannot be done. It is too hot every hour of the day. So, please excuse any sound issues. Also, probably the worst problem is our Cavalier King Charles chewing a bone right by us. So I'm sorry about that too, but she'll probably settle down in a minute or two. All right. Have I read this book?
No.
Oh, well, and I don't feel bad.
You are, however, at least acquainted with the story.
Of course I am. Hint number 2, me, please.
Hint number 2, you. Some do not.
These aren't hints. These are, I'm not going to let you guess the book. Hint number 3, me.
Hint number 3, Christopher Tietjens.
I don't know.
All right. This is Parade's End by Ford Madox Ford.
In what way am I familiar with this book?
You're familiar with this in that we watched the 5-part BBC miniseries that starred Benedict Cumberbatch as Christopher Tietjens. It was a few years ago.
Yeah,
but
I might have been playing Tetris.
If so, you missed a really great...
I'm not a Cumberbatch fan, so that might have been off-putting to me. Anyway, all right. When did this come out and how long is it?
This actually is a tetralogy of 4 novels.
Why is 4 novels called a tetralogy?
Because it's tetrameter, 4-meter, tetralogy, 4-book.
I guess I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. We did hear about this with the book set in India.
Oh, yeah.
That was a tetralogy, too.
Yes.
Like, what?
But that one, I only chose the first book, the first novel.
You're choosing the whole...
This one, it really is one continuous story.
Okay, so dear listener, this is 4 books. Okay?
This is 4 books. But it's...
When you plan your book club, you're going to have talking points to talk them into the book.
It's a one continuous story. The novels were published between 1924 and 1928. And you're going to ask how long it is.
I am. Well, it's a tetralogy.
It is a tetralogy. It was published in 1950 for the first time as a single work.
Oh, okay.
And you can get a 2019 Penguin Classics paperback edition of the whole work, which is 864 pages.
Oh, okay.
So the 4 novels are not long novels.
So the 4 novels together are a long
864
book,
pages, yeah.
I mean, that's not insane.
It's not insane. I mean, it's a trollop book.
It's shorter. It's a trollop book.
Or
whatever.
A Dickens book.
A Dickens book. All right. Okay, so who else likes this book?
Lots of people.
Do they live in Canada?
Yeah.
Like your girlfriend? Don't you know that trope?
Yes, I do. I didn't realize you knew I had a girlfriend in Canada.
I know everything about you, Ruud.
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are recording this on June 26th, 2026, which happens to be the anniversary of the date that Madox Ford died in 1939.
Yeah.
So it's kind of appropriate. I didn't plan it this way, yet that is what happened.
Wow, that is kind of a coincidence.
It is. And he was a hugely prolific novelist, essayist, literary critic in the first half of the 20th century, whom few contemporary American readers are likely to have heard of. And even fewer to have read.
My brother Ben, I think, is a Madox Ford fan.
Well, then
I think that's where I heard of it.
That's great.
Yeah.
He probably particularly likes this work, although there is another work of Ford's that's on several great novel lists called The Good Soldier from 1915.
Yes, that's the one I've heard of the most, I think.
Yeah, and that appears on the Modern Library's list and the Guardian's list and the Observer's list and the BBC lists of 100 greatest novels. On the other hand, this particular work is the one that I'm picking because I read The Good Soldier. It was okay. I wasn't all that impressed, but this one just really hit home with me. But to say who loves this book, let me tell you. Well, first of all, in 2010, the prominent political philosopher John N. Gray, who's the former school professor of European thought at the London School of Economics and Political Science, called the tetralogy possibly the greatest 20th century novel in English.
My goodness. What year did he say that?
2010.
Oh, wow.
And acclaimed novelist and scholar Mary Gordon, Mackintosh Professor of English at Barnard College in New York, called this work quite simply the best fictional treatment of war in the history of the novel.
Wow.
So, I mean, those are two significant people who've loved this book in particular. Other people who are big fans of Ford are Graham Greene.
I'm a big fan of Graham Greene.
Anthony Burgess, William Carlos Williams, and Julian.
Oh, of course, because they're double name people.
I'm sure that's exactly
Ford and William Williams.
William Williams. I'm sure that's exactly the reason.
They're in a club together. They were in a support group together for weird names.
And Julian Barnes. Those are some of the best known lovers of him.
Oh, I see. This has a doodly theme.
It is doodly. But Ford lived in Winchelsea in East Sussex in the first decade of the 20th century, and he found himself with neighbors who included Stephen Crane, Henry James, H.G. Wells, and Joseph Conrad.
Oh, my goodness.
And he and Conrad got to be particularly close, and in fact, they collaborated on 3 novels together. Called one is The Inheritors.
Oh, I think I knew that they worked together.
1901. Yeah. One called Romance in 1903, and one called The Nature of a Crime, which was published in 1924, but it was written decades earlier. And during that first decade of the 20th century, Ford was best known for what was called the Fifth Queen trilogy, which he wrote between 1906 and 1908. 3 historical romances based on the life of Catherine Howard, the fifth of Henry VIII, which I have read. I read that trilogy, and they're really, really interesting historical novels. I would recommend them to anybody who likes historical novels. But anyway, as I say, The Parade's End is my favorite. Oh, and I guess I never did go through the the lists of the great books lists that it's on. Quickly, let me do that.
Yes, just high points now because we've had some time with this question.
Oh, yeah.
So, hi.
So
Just the high.
it's on Modern Library's list of the 100 greatest novels. Parade's End, it's number 57 on that list. Also 57 on the BBC list of the 100 greatest British novels of all time. It's in Harold Bloom's book, The Western Canon, on William Gass's list of 50 literary pillars. It's number 87 in the book, The Top 10, the greatest books of all time. On the website, History Hits list of the greatest 15 books about World War I. It's listed as number 11. And it's one of the 30 essential war novels everyone should read from the website short list.
Wow. All right. So is Parade's End the name of the tetralogy?
Yes.
So it's not the name of the first book or anything?
No, the first book is called Some Do Not, which was my second clue, you might recall.
Oh, yeah. Clue.
Well, it's the name, it's a title of part of the book. I mean, I don't know how that can not be a clue.
But you know I haven't read it. So you know for me it's not a clue at all. Okay?
All right.
I'm just saying.
Some Do Not is the first book. No More Parades is actually the title of the second novel, which is close to Parade's End.
Yeah.
A Man Could Stand Up is the title of the third novel, which came out in 1926. And then the last novel is called Last Post, which came out in 1928.
Oh, Last Post.
Yeah. So those are the four parts of the book.
Can you do the down and dirty summary? Or will you be humiliated by the trombone of despair?
Well, just watch me.
I'd love to.
Okay, the four novels that make up Parade's End are set in England and on the Western Front, immediately before, during, and immediately after the First World War. The tetralogy chronicles the upheavals of British society taking place during and after the Great War, particularly as they affect the protagonist, the upper class Christopher Tietjens, his shrewish wife, Sylvia, and a young rebellious suffragette named Valentine Wannup.
Boy, I don't remember this show at all. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, harps of glory to you.
Go ahead.
That is exactly what we're looking for with the down and dirty summary.
Well,
is this something that interests me? I'm going to ask you the question I always ask you, which is, of course, why is this novel's... why are these 4 novels lovable? But I actually want to kind of focus the question on why you picked it, because, I mean, I'm an English major. I read a lot. I'm around readers. And I just don't, people don't talk about this in my kind of circles, I would say. Like, it's not something that crosses my attention very often anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about why you picked it for your list.
Well, I think, like I said, I think a lot of people, especially in America, are no longer familiar with Ford Madox Ford. But this is a brilliant novel taken all together. I think the most lovable thing about it is it focuses on the interiority of the characters, which you don't normally expect from a war novel. It's not a lot of action. What you get, the action that you get most is in Tietjens' mind, and it's mostly his mind that you're in, although you do sometimes get into Sylvia's and Valentine's, and especially in the last book, Christopher's brother, Mark, who basically is dying, and his mind is going through all these things. So the psychology is important. Tietjens is a character that people call the last Tory and an Anglican saint. That's why I used those as the first clue, which probably did not really do much for you. But his politics and his ethical code is something that at one point we're told kind of goes back to the 18th century. That's how conservative he is. But he himself says, well, it's actually 17th century because that's when England really was at its best. And he aspires to be, I mean, he doesn't think of himself this way, but he aspires to be somebody like George Herbert, the Anglican pastor, who visited his flock and all this.
He's a poet.
And one of the great metaphysical poets.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is this kind of upright makes a lot of people not like him. This is what is said once about him by his fellows. You see in such a world as this an idealist, or perhaps it's only a sentimentalist, must be stoned to death. He makes the others so uncomfortable. He haunts them at their golf. And now his wife, Sylvia, in the beginning of the book, Sylvia's kind of a vain socialite who, as the book opens, she has left him for another man like 4 months ago, and she's in France or Germany. I can't remember which. As the book gets underway, she's asking to come back to him. And we're told he seemed to have no feelings about the matter. Because being this very ethical person, he wants to do everything rationally. So he comes across as having no feelings, which is part of the reason why Benedict Cumberbatch was so great in the role. I mean, he's just very deadpan.
Yeah.
And divorce, his friend wants him to divorce her. But divorcing his wife, no matter what she may have done to him, would be immoral in Tejan's view. He would accept it if she decided to divorce him.
He won't fight her, but he's not going to initiate it.
Right.
Okay.
But she's not going to divorce him because she's a strict Roman Catholic.
Right. Is he Anglican?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So she devises devious ways to hurt and humiliate her husband.
Hurt people.
Yeah. Now she is, her psychology is maybe the most impressive thing about the novel. Because she really is not a likable person at all. We don't know, for instance, if her child is actually Tejan's or not. She got him to marry her because she was pregnant. But the child was born somewhat prematurely. And
Quotes.
yeah, it seems like probably it really isn't his. However, he loves the kid. But
Well, in her social set and in her time, like, she has to have a husband. Like, she can't, like,
yeah, oh yeah,
she's gonna be cast out if she doesn't have somebody marry her.
oh yeah. And the fact that she's separated from him makes people suspect it's his fault.
Right.
And he doesn't correct them. His godfather is this General Campion, who throughout the novel always thinks that Sylvia is this perfect person, no matter what awful things she does. At one point in the third book, I think, she comes to Rouen. This is during the war, and he's Captain Tejan's at the time, and he's like in charge of trying to move people along, to move people from one point to another, to move troops. some Welsh soldier has just come to him and been blown up while he's standing there and dies in his arms, bleeding to death. And he gets this report, there's a woman who's come to see you, and she's staying at this hotel in Rouen. And it's Sylvia, and she's come basically she wants to know if their child is going to ultimately inherit the family estate. But she also has invited 2 men to her room, and she's made sure that they come while he's there so that he will have to throw them out. And part of her...
I don't understand what this is. Why she's I don't understand.
Well, she doesn't care anything about them, the other men. She's trying, because he's always so sort of emotionless. She's trying to force him to be emotional.
Yeah.
And
well, she probably wants him to feel some passion about her.
That's exactly right. And Ford seems to understand that, even though I think Graham Greene has called her let me find the quote. Okay. Graham Greene called her surely the most possessed evil character in the modern novel. And I mean, she really is unlikable.
All of this is making me not want to read this. Like the main woman in it is just diabolical.
Well, she's one of the main women in it. The genius of Ford is to make us understand her, not simply as a bored, promiscuous socialite with sadistic and narcissistic tendencies, although that's not an inaccurate description, but as a woman who married a man whose saintliness she recognizes but can't appreciate, and who wants to punish him for refusing to act like other men would act toward her
that makes her even better. I don't know. Some of this feels... I don't mean to interrogate you. Some of this feels like tropes to me, like the things that men say that women do. Like she trapped him into marriage. It wasn't his kid. Then she punished him because he wasn't the way she wanted him to be.
But her psychology is understandable, and you actually have to have, I think, a little bit of sympathy for her.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering, because
given the situation.
You are a feminist, so it's interesting to me the way that you've talked about this novel so far. Doesn't sound appealing. It sounds like I said, doodly. This poor dude, he's just trying to be ethical and rational, and this woman's terrorizing him.
Well, this is a quotation from Sylvia. Her private attitude toward men is actually summed up, I guess, in this.
Men, at any rate, never fulfilled expectations. They might, upon acquaintance, turn out more entertaining than they appeared. But almost always taking up with a man was like reading a book you had read when you had forgotten that you had read it. You had not been for 10 minutes in any sort of intimacy with any man before you said, "But I've read all this before." You knew the opening. You were already bored by the middle, and especially you knew the end.
Yeah. So the other men bore her.
That's why.
But Christopher does not.
Oh, because
he does not do what all other men are expected to do.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. Or in a way, I guess he is predictable, but his predictability is boring. But here, here's something that goes through her mind as at one point, she decides maybe she will stay with him after all.
Listen here. I've always got this to look forward to. I'll settle down by that man's side. I'll be as virtuous as any woman. I've made up my mind to it, and I'll be it. And I'll be bored stiff for the rest of my life, except for one thing. I can torment that man, and I'll do it. Do you understand how I'll do it? There are many ways. But if the worst comes to the worst, I can always drive him silly by corrupting the child. She was panting a little, and round her brown eyes the whites showed. I'll get even with him, I can, I know how, you see. And with you, through him, for tormenting me. I've come all the way from Brittany without stopping. I haven't slept, but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally sympathetic.
Well, not totally sympathetic, but there's enough there that you understand her.
This is interesting because you talked about it in terms of introducing it about the war.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is lovable about it is all the marriage, the relationship stuff, the soap opera.
Yeah,
drama.
It's all the stuff that's going on inside. Even in the midst of the war, Tietjens is in his consciousness, he's thinking about the war, but it's never really the focal point of his consciousness. I mean, he focuses on what he has to do, but he's always thinking about the other things. He's always thinking about his two main relationships, the one with Sylvia and the other with Valentine. Now, Valentine he meets in the first book. It's a meet cute, actually. He's on the Gulf.
They were both renting the same video at Blockbuster?
Something like that. He's on the golf course, and she and a friend of hers are protesting at the golf course because that's where all the men are. There's suffragettes, and Valentine is a particularly dedicated suffragette, and he helps her get away from the cop who's chasing her.
Okay.
And then he kind of has her sort of in the back of his mind all the time, and then they meet again. They come together again. She, as it turns out, is the daughter of this writer that his father was really good friends with and actually kind of helped to support in his old age. And in fact had written the greatest novel in the last half century. So there's this sort of family connection, and so he's friends with the mother, and then he becomes better friends really with the daughter, and they become intimate friends, but not sexually, which of course would be
immoral
against Tietjens' moral code. But everybody believes that he's having an affair with her.
Well,
everybody.
You can have an affair in every way but sex, right? Like,
that is true.
I mean, he obviously is, preoccupied by her.
Yeah. But everybody believes this rumor, which, by the way, is started by Sylvia. And his brother, Mark, who's heir to the family estate, believes it. This ends up poisoning his relationship with his brother, and to the extent that he won't accept any money from the estate ever again, even after his father dies and leaves it to him. But the rumor is completely false, although he does clearly love her.
It doesn't sound completely false. It sounds...
There is no physical relationship between them. That's what's completely false, but everybody believes there is.
But obviously his passion for her is what is the most threatening to Sylvia.
Yeah.
Because she wants him to behave in a passionate way towards her.
Right. But, I mean, he's not even that passionate about this relationship with Valentine.
Why are these women such a pick-me for this guy?
Well, this is at one point, this is what he thinks about seducing women. He says, or he thinks, you seduced a young woman in order to be able to finish your talks with her. You married to continue the conversation. And it's this intimate conversation that culminates in the final communion of your souls that, in effect, is love.
Well, that goes with what I was saying about, I think it's an essay from, was it Donald Hall who talked about that shared attention is the only way that you can know your partner's mind, because you always are alone. You can't know what your other person is thinking about, But when you look at something together, when your attention mingles, then that's the closest you can be to sharing a mind. And that's what we all want, right?
Yeah.
That kind of intimacy.
Yeah, and that's what he wants.
Right. So that's interesting. That's a kind of way of saying that, I think.
Yeah. There's a really interesting passage where he's thinking about the two of them together.
He and Valentine?
Well, he's thinking about Valentine and Sylvia.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Upon my soul, Tejan said to himself, that girl down there is the only intelligent living soul I've met for years. A little pronounced in manner sometimes, faulty in reasoning, naturally. But quite intelligent, with a touch of wrong accent now and then. It's kind of mansplaining. But
he is a man.
Yeah, but if she was wanted anywhere, there she'd be. Of good stock, of course, on both sides. But positively, she and Sylvia were the only two human beings he had met for years whom he could respect. The one for sheer efficiency in killing, the other for having the constructive desire and knowing how to set about it. Kill or cure, the two functions of man. If you wanted something killed, you'd go to Sylvia Tejan's in sure faith that she would kill it. Emotion, hope, ideal. Kill it quick and sure. If you wanted something kept alive, you'd go to Valentine. She'd find something to do for it. The two types of mind, remorseless, enemy, sure screen, dagger, sheath.
No.
It just seems like, I keep asking the same question. It's about the war, which, of course, I imagine that writers, obviously, Hemingway wrote about World War I, like anybody who had been even remotely adjacent to it and was creative was responding to it because there was nothing in European civilization that had been anything like that, right? So everybody's trying to process it and understand it and say, this is what I saw, this is what I think. And yet, it's so interesting because the way you introduced it was before, during, and after the Great War. And still, what we're talking about is the interpersonal relationship between him, or among these people, right? Between him and Sylvia, between him and Valentine.
Yeah.
His moral
also
code.
Between Valentine and Sylvia, there's some things that occur there that are pretty interesting.
But,
and Valentine ultimately has a lot of respect for Sylvia.
His moral code, which is he a code hero, a la Hemingway?
Well, not that. He's not a Hemingway code hero.
But he has a code.
He has a code. And it's... So one of the lovable things about the book is the psychology and the relationship between the characters. Yeah. But it's also largely about what effects the war has on society. Yeah. And the changes that occur between the 1914 when the book began and 1919 or whenever it is when the book ends.
It just brings to mind, this is kind of pop culture-y, but it brings to mind Downton Abbey because everything changed for them around the time of World War I, right? Yeah. Because things changed for upper crust British landholders. Yeah. Because the agrarian, society that kept money in their pockets was changing to the, industrial age, and, they kept their titles, but their way of having the resources that supported their titles went away. Yeah. Yeah. And of course the war was a huge, not just political shift, but people had to face the horrors of what humanity could do to each other.
And that's in the book. Tejan sees a lot. He comes home, he's actually shell-shocked at one, but then he goes back to the front. Yeah. So these things are happening in his mind. But he's in fact, the second part of the first book begins in 1917. One of the things that really makes this a modern book is that you have to figure out what the chronology is, because the books will start here at different times.
Okay.
You might be going back in time for something that explains what happened in the book, or the half of the book that happened before then. So you have shell-shocked Teijins come home from the war at the end of Some Do Not. And then in the second novel, you're in the midst of the war with him at the base camp in Iran after he's gone back to the war. So in his introduction to the third volume of the tetralogy, A Man Could Stand Up, Ford actually says, this is what the late war was like. This is how modern fighting of the organized scientific type affects the mind. And so he focuses on the interiority of the characters and how much different Teijins is by the end. I mean, yes, he's one of the things that's different after the war is he doesn't care if he spends the rest of his life with Valentine. And Sylvia is ready to divorce him finally. He doesn't care if the kid is... Actually, in the fourth part of the book, or in the fourth volume, Teijins almost doesn't appear. He's just like on the edges. He's decided he's going to be a furniture dealer because he's got all this old furniture from the mansion that his brother is letting him have, but he doesn't want it. So Sylvia is actually the one who's going to who has it, and she's going to let her son have it when he's old enough. But she's renting it out to some American who comes and cuts down the giant tree in front to basically show how much has changed. But anyway, Teijins is he doesn't have another job. He's not going to take the money from his inheritance. He's going to be a furniture salesman and live in an apartment near there with Valentine.
Well, before we wind up this section, I have one question, which is, I mean, he and Hemingway were writing about the same things around the same time. Were they in the same circles or?
No.
Interesting.
I don't think, I don't know.
Because you're talking about the content and some of the ideas made me think of Hemingway, of course.
Yeah.
But, okay. All right, so.
Well, I did want to say that Graham Greene thought that the Last Post was a huge mistake.
Oh, the tea.
That he never...
You're spilling the tea.
that Ford never should have written it. He said that the final book, Last Post, was more than a mistake. It was a disaster. Oof. And he did an edition of the book. He edited an edition.
Who edited?
Graham Greene.
Oh, okay.
Edited an edition of the tetralogy in 1962, 1963. But he made it a trilogy and left off the last book completely. Most readers have disagreed with him.
With Greene?
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
Personally, I think the last book is kind of genius.
Oh, wow.
But
Didn't strike
just,
Greene that way.
Did not strike him that way.
All right. Well,
let me say one more thing. It sounds like this is a very serious book. Not a lot of laughs, but actually, it can be very funny.
Oh, okay.
And it often comes out in sort of pithy or satiric one-liners. Like here's a selection.
Just put it down. A man's books are very much himself. It has been remarked that the peculiarly English habit of self-suppression in matters of the emotions puts the Englishman at a great disadvantage in moments of unusual stresses. Damn it all, it's the first duty of a soldier. It's the first duty of all Englishmen to be able to tell a good lie in answer to a charge. Few Germans were imaginative enough to be irresponsible. That's my favorite. Although Teijins hated golf as he hated any occupation that was of a competitive nature, He could engross himself in the mathematics of trajectories. My God, that's so British.
And it is. And he's a mathematician. I never did mention that that's what he works for the government as a mathematician.
Like Cumberbatch as him and as Turing.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's also, there's some humor, too, in how much Tietjens hates the British government.
Oh, okay.
Especially during the war, because they do all these things that are crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they make it impossible for the actual soldiers to do anything that's going to help them.
Right.
And they don't want to really work with the French. They don't trust them. Mm-hmm. And it just drives him bats.
You should always trust any society that takes 2-hour lunches.
That's
always.
True. Exactly.
Always. Those people are your friends.
Yes.
Well, why might somebody not like this book? These 4 books.
They might just hate Sylvia and wonder why in the heck he stays with her. They might not like him because he's so kind of unemotional.
Yeah.
They might not like the fact that it's so interior and there's you don't get a whole lot of description of what happens in the war,
right.
Other than just things that are happening that he pays attention to. So those kinds of things you might.
But not the craft of it or anything. It's just that you might not enjoy some of the characters and who they are as people.
Or even the way it's focused on what people think are thinking and not on so much what's happening.
Right. Well, to me, that is appealing because and that is, as you said, makes it, a modern novel, right? It's not this happened and then this happened, but perception is reality. So Ford is focusing on their perception, right?
Yeah.
And their experience.
Yeah.
All right.
There have been two miniseries of this. You'd think that something so interior would be hard to make into a movie.
Yeah.
But there have been 2.
Which apparently I watched one of.
I don't
remember.
The first one was 1964, and it was kind of based on Green's edition. So it left off book 4 completely. And it's not that, it hasn't been that acclaimed or anything. The most interesting thing about it is that Judi Dench, who was 30 years old at the time, plays Valentine Waddup.
Oh, she's the suffragette.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then the 5-part Benedict Cumberbatch one was a big hit. And one of the reasons probably was that it was written by Tom Stoppard.
Oh, well, there you go. Nestor.
The Nestor.
All right, well, give us the ranking before we close up shop.
I'm putting this at number 61.
Oh, all right.
Which puts it right after Anthony Burgess, big fan of Ford's A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, interesting.
And right before Farewell to Arms.
You put it before Farewell to Arms.
I did because I think it's just more, there's more in it.
Interesting.
There's more to it.
Impressive. All right.
Overall.
Well.
All right. So it's a time for Chaos Reader.
Yes. I don't have a ton to say. I'm still pecking away at my Anna Wintour book. I'm still having trouble reading because I have kind of scattered attention here with, oh my God, the heat wave. I know it seems like, well, you could just lie there and read as you rot in bed, but I just don't, it's hard to pay attention to things because I don't feel that good. I'm not that relaxed because of the heat. But Anna Wintour is now editor-in-chief of British Vogue, where she is shaking things up. So that is Chaos Reader. I do really enjoy the book, and I am enjoying it. I don't have any complaints about it. I mean, like I said last time, I think there are some places where I'm like, could that be better written? But I am enjoying it. I think it's good. I did buy a book at Shakespeare and Company in Paris when we were there with my nephew. I bought an Elena Ferrante book.
Oh.
So
Didn't realize you had.
I did. Someday I will start that book and we will talk about it. Anyway, so
next time you see us, we're going to be in a different
oh my goodness.
studio.
We are, because we are moving south in Burgundy. We'll still be in Burgundy, Bourgogne. We're moving to the Morvan area. It's kind of a natural park, preserved natural area with traditional farming and small towns. And we're moving to a very small town in the Morvan. So we will be recording from there next time.
Nice.
And hopefully the canicule will be over and it will be normal temperature and we won't have to have a fan. So thank you for watching and listening. Thank you for telling your friends about us. Thank you for interacting with us on all the platforms. And thank you to Jerry Bruno, who helps us with all our questions and makes our cover art for YouTube. Otherwise, it's just us doing our little podcast. And we appreciate everybody who participates and listens. And we just do it because we love books. So we'll see you next time.
Between
Between
the covers.